All right, today we are working on a 1964 Lincoln Continental. This vehicle was presented to us with a bunch of problems. First one being the slow crank. So as you can see, the vehicle does have an Optima battery in it currently. Now, what was going on was that all of the connections, terminals, the starter solenoid, everything was just corroded and old. So what we ended up doing, you can see how bad the corrosion actually was. I gently pulled that and it fell apart. This thing would have had so much resistance on it that it got hot enough to melt the rubber casing on the outside of the cable. So that thing got hot, really hot. This was the ground, which was actually mounted to the engine block, and that was so corroded that I gave it a little tug and that one just fell apart and a bunch of corrosion fell out of that as well. Now you can see that on the stock ground, when it's all brand new, it'll work just fine. But as corrosion and age start to catch up with the electrical components, you start to get excessive resistance. So what we did was we ran a bigger gauge for the initial ground going to our kill switch for storage for the winter time, and we ran a dual ground. So in place of one single cable, now we are running two cables. One in which goes to the body, which you can kind of see down in there, and one that goes to the engine block on the side, all the way at the bottom. So that makes it so that the current has more paths to flow through and gives you a faster cranking speed. Now we've already tested it. It does crank much faster. The actual starter solenoid itself on this side was melting just from the excessive heat. So when we were in here, we're like, okay, let's check the plugs. Plugs were Autolite 45s. I don't like running Autolites in any vehicle, whether it's mine or a customer's. So we pulled those out and we threw the Motorcraft 420X, I believe, 420 SPX. The water pump on this one has been a little bit of a pain in the butt. Now, this is the third time we're doing the water pump. First time was the replacement. Second time is what we're doing now. So give you a little bit of backstory on this. This was a company that specializes in these 64 Continentals. I'm not going to name any names, but for some reason, both water pumps, brand new, keep in mind, and torque to spec, had a leak from right here on the backing plate. So this one, we went ahead and opened, because this one was the original one that we replaced the stock unit with, leaked from right here. The one that's in the vehicle now did the exact same thing from the exact same location. So what we ended up doing was pulling the backing plate off, murderized it with a bunch of sealant to make sure that it was actually going to hold the seal, and now we're in the process of putting it back together. This vehicle also got new fuel pump and a new fuel tank and sending unit. So old vehicles, check